Thank you, Manolis, and thank you. Be very welcome, dear friends, coming from Turkey, authorities. It's good to take the floor after Farouk, because Farouk has used the double hat of having been a deputy minister. And what I have to say to my colleagues, being politicians, I'm not using this formal approaches.
Civil servant.
Well, okay, Farouk, we can later. But no, I like the way you use your time, not to read an official paper like Baiba and the Spanish colleagues before. Listen, the more you hear about these kind of formal papers, the more you have to realize that you are becoming a third country and not a candidate country. And you have to be aware. When a paper starts saying the relation with Turkey is very important, you are a real partner, guys, be careful. Somebody is putting yourself in another political position that is you are a third country. Meaning, let's talk about everything, but better not to talk about the accession process. Then be careful. These are the traps in the Brussels bubble. And if you notice, Ursula von der Leyen didn't mention Turkey today. Didn't mention Turkey today in the speech. He mentioned the Western Balkans, he mentioned Ukraine, he mentioned Moldova. She didn't mention Turkey. This is another tip about how are you being cornered to be a neighbor with which we will have to better relation, but forget about the accession country, the accession process. And this is important. And in the way some of you approach Ambassador and Ismail, with this rationale that Baiba also used, is the world is very tense. There is a lot of polarization. We need each other. This is another way to say, let's deal with geopolitical tensions, military security, visa, custom unions, but forget about the other thing, the big thing, the accession process. And it's good to be aware of that. The Borrell's paper, excellent paper. Borrell's paper has not been endorsed by the Council, has not been endorsed. And this is shameful, because it's a good paper, because it's a good paper to relaunch the relation, because it's a good paper being very careful, even if the paper is not touching the accession process. Because the Borrell's paper is good, but is avoiding carefully the accession process. But even this paper has not been formally endorsed by the Council. Then we are trying to pick up some pieces of this paper and try to advance the relations in other fields not related with the accession process. And I have to remind my Turkish friends and colleagues again. This is tiring, but I'm continuing to show. The membership is about democracy. We are still a club of democracies. And for that reason, whatever happened with the drones, with the military, with the geopolitical tensions, with the polarization, has nothing to do with the fact that membership is about to be a mature, irreversible democracy. And then you have to decide what is the political will of the country. And I understand the rationale of Farouk saying, in some way, the European fatigue is a consequence of the lack of incentives. This is a thing that's very useful. Cyprus first, the original sin, and then the lack of incentives. But you have to put yourself in the situation. You have to become a democracy because you want to be a democracy. We are not obliged to transform Turkey in a democracy. This is completely on your side. This is your society, your elites, your party, your parliament. But it's impossible to understand for us. We are only becoming a democracy if this is linked to the accession process, because it's not functioning. Really, it's not functioning. There are no shortcuts. Not for you, not for Ukraine. This is a normative process. You have to, like any other country, to fulfill and to comply and to deliver in the benchmark in the accession process. This is not transactional. And I have to say, I don't have any problem with transactionalism. I'm a politician, like my friends, like yourself. We know how to deal in a transactional way. But the accession process is different. Accession process is normative. And for that reason, it's inevitably linked to the core of the accession process, whatever is the environment, whatever is the polarization outside, whatever are the wars around Europe, accession process is about democracy. And it's good to repeat that, because sometimes my Turkish interlocutor, they try to encounter other ways to say, okay, but you need us from the security point of view. Yeah, it's true. Let's deal with security, but forget about membership. And Ismail, you claim directly to the opening of the chapter 23rd. The chapter 23rd is about judiciary and fundamental rights. And the Commission report says there are no progress. There is a way to say you reach a so low level on democratic standard that is impossible to worsen. And for that reason, the Commission is saying no progress. It's exactly the same. Ismail, you are asking the European Union to open the judiciary, the chapter on judiciary. You are judging, you are prosecuting girls of 14 years on terrorism charges. Girls having 14 years have prosecutors, they have been prosecuted in Turkey on the terrorist charges. And they are being asked by the judge, why did you go to study with your neighbor? Ismail, your appeals court sued and prosecuted criminally your constitutional court. Do you really think you are prepared to open and not to close in 10 minutes the chapter 23rd? Okay, there are a lot of package, but Ismail, Farouk, dear friends, the problem is still there. There is no immobility of the judges. The judges are changed. If the judges are not complaining and pleasing the power and pleasing the AKP, they are simply sent to a long province to continue the things. I'm talking about the trustee. I'm finished, Manolis, but there are so many things to say. On visa, you are right. You are right in the first part of the problem, meaning we have to deliver, and we have to deliver promptly, because there are a lot of demands. The fact that your minister says in the parliament, no, but there is a hidden agenda on visa. Europe is curtailing or is restraining the visas. Yeah, it's true. We have to be aware. But let's have a look on your JESIL passport or your service passport abuse. That is not of help on the agenda of to speed up the process regarding visa. But you know, Ismail, Farouk, friend, the Parliament is standing for the visa facilitation, as Borrell was. And I think we were before Borrell. We said, yes, we have to take care of the facilitation, but Farouk, let's go to the visa liberalization. Georgia has the visa liberalization. There are only 6 benchmarks. And the government didn't send to the parliament any minor piece of draft law to comply with the six benchmark. What the Turkish citizen needs is a visa liberalization. We can deal and we can talk and we can try to provide visa facilitation. That's okay. And we are trying and we are putting pressure on the member state. There are no visa for the European Union. The visa is for one country or another, and the visa is examined by the services of the member state, not the European Union. And you are right being upset, and your minister is right being upset with the lengthy problems that every Turkish citizen is concerned. But please think about the other thing, about the visa realization as a goal, and not the visa facilitation that is a mano. I finish with the trustees. Listen, I have been very vocal with the trustees. I have been on silence for several months because I didn't have the position. But in the moment I finally regained the position, or have been repunished with the position of being Turkish. Sorry, this is the joke. When I came again, immediately appeared the trustees problem. And I have talked to Farouk many times about the trustee. When I came out saying this is hijacking the local democracy, I received a lot of pressure on the social media saying you are supporting democracy. No, please, guys, colleagues, let's be clear on that. Whatever is the problem of a mayor, of a local councillor with the justice is one thing. But the problem is not only that the prosecutors are resuscitating a phone call from 10 years ago to a widow for a morning to produce and to engineer a fake accusation. This is one problem. The other problem, the big problem, is the trustee system has nothing to do with the fact that could have been majors having problems, like in every problem. The problem is that your government replaced an elected, democratic elected mayor by a trustee of the AKP, having lost the election. This is the problem. The problem is not to have some mayor with problem. The problem is how do you substitute elected mayor by a trustee appointed directly without any kind of judiciary review of a political authority replacing the elected mayor. That's the only way, and the Council of Europe is repeating to you every year in the local democracy report, you can prosecute a mayor or a local councillor or a minister. This is not the problem. The problem is how do you manage to hijack the will of the people who voted for this party or this party, and you put in the mayorship to a person of the party not having the elected position on the issue. Well, there are many things we are having time to do, but thank you, Manolis, for having offered the issue. I'm continuing to do my work in the best way that I know. I am very happy that always, having been very critical, I always had open channels with Farouk, with Ismail, with the ministries, with the authorities of Turkey, and this is very helpful to try to, let's say, to square the things in a way the more conducive for our relation. Thank you.